Welcome, welcome to the Divine Platform. I'll be doing a series, three-part series, Christopher Columbus. I'll be looking at who was Christopher Columbus, whether the name Christopher Columbus is an accurate description. What does history say? We know he who writes history, he who writes the story, controls the narrative and influences the knowledge and subsequent beliefs about that story. So there's a lot of confusion about the identity of Christopher Columbus, and I hope to answer questions about his identity generally, what possibly precipitated his voyage. I'll review Wikipedia because Wikipedia is everybody's Bible nowadays. And that's the story that has been heavily marketed. And I say marketed because they package it in a certain way and sell it to you to induce you to buy the narrative that they're selling in there. Okay? And then people just run with that. Okay? So it's a three-part series. In the first part, we will simply examine and listen to what confusing information researchers and historians have out there in trying to ascertain the true identity of Christopher Columbus and see how many people claim him. Part 2, I'll be breaking down who Christopher Columbus is using etymology, specifically Luya etymology, and I will examine the key words about Christopher Columbus' summary narrative. That's how I'll break it down. And then part 3, I'll continue to summarize in relation to the present day life. So I'll relate it to present day life right now. And then one should be able to deduce or deduct how the reparations, restitution, and restoration agenda fits into this, okay? So first, this is from Wikipedia. It says origin theories of Christopher Columbus. So first off, we see it says theories, so it's not fact. Okay, the exact ethnic or national origin of Christopher Columbus has been a source of speculation again, since the 19th century. The general consensus among historians is that Christopher Columbus' family was from the coastal region of Liguria, that he spent his boyhood and early youth in the Republic of Genoa, in Vico di Rito, and that he subsequently lived in Savona, where his father Domenico moved in 1470. Much evidence derives from data concerning Columbus' immediate family connections in Genoa and opinions voiced by contemporaries concerning his Genoese origins, which few dispute. Still, they're just opinions, okay? Then it goes on to say, many other hypotheses exist, none of which are broadly accepted. So there are many other hypotheses which exist and they're not broadly accepted. So why have they chosen to run with this narrative, which is just a theory, which is just a speculation? Okay. An international DNA study aimed at determining Columbus' origins began in 2021. So today is 2022 April, and they just began this DNA study. One has to ask why they're doing it right now. It's because the truth has to be revealed, and they're being demanded to produce these bodies or these skeletons. That's why it's being done right now. So next we'll examine what other people have to say about Christopher Columbus, and I will leave the links in the description box below of any information I use. So let's see what this guy says.
Was Christopher Columbus truly Italian, or was he the illegitimate son of a Portuguese prince? Was Columbus Jewish? Absolutely, say many historians, including Simon Wiesenthal, Israel's noted Nazi hunter. Was he a secret agent for King John II of Portugal? And if so, why did he go to sea for the Spanish?
Okay, so we see here they don't know whether he was Portuguese, Italian, whether he was of the Jewish faith, whether he was just a secret agent. Let's see what this one say.
Columbus was a devout Catholic, but straddled both Christianity and Judaism through the heritage of his Catholic father and Jewish mother.
Again here, was he a Catholic or Jewish? Clearly nobody really knows who Christopher Columbus was from just those two videos and that Wikipedia article. Okay, let's go on.
Yeah, he died up north in Valladolid. He was there for a long period of time. Then his body was brought here to Seville. And then one of his relatives wanted his body in the Dominican Republic. So they brought his body over to the Dominican Republic. I believe it was in the 1700s. Then there was a revolution in the Dominican Republic, and they decided to move him out. So he was brought to Cuba. Some of his remains were left in the DR. He's brought to Cuba. He's then moved back to Spain. Some of his remains are left in Cuba. And he's then laid to rest what's left of him here in Seville. So his primary tomb is here in Seville, but in fact he's buried in at least 4 different places.
So what do they mean by that? He's buried in at least 4 different places. Did they dismember his body and bury it in 4 different places? Or is there 4 people who identify as Christopher Columbus? What is going on? Confusion is what is going on. Nobody really knows. Christopher Columbus' son, Hernan, wrote, "We will never know where my father was from, nor what his real name was. At one point in his life, he went back to using the alias of Christopher Columbus." So even his supposed son doesn't know what his real name was. Doesn't that seem suspicious? You don't know what your father's real name was, but you're old enough to give this kind of statement. Okay, let's see what this guy says here.
Fazia aquelas navegações todas. Ele fez-lo porque era filho do nobre português, do Duque que também era navegador, o Duque de Beja.
Not to forget.
So that guy, he was talking about whether he was a nobleman, a noble man, or just a pauper. So they don't even know those basics about his economics or social status. Okay, we've seen they don't know his name, where he's buried, what he believed in, what his faith was, his ancestry. They don't seem to know. Now let's look at this next one.
His birth name, Salvador Fernandez Zarco, was later changed to Christopher Colomb by the explorer himself.
Okay. Somebody says that his birth name was Salvador Fernando Zarco. So he has Christopher Columbus, now Salvador Fernando Zarco. And he changed his name back to Christopher Columbus himself. Clearly nobody knows. Okay, what was his original identity? Maybe this guy can tell us.
Historic truth. The first truth is that Columbus always hid his true origins and his true identity. That for 500 years, history has accepted an uncertainty, meaning that the story about him being from Genoa has never really been proven. Recently, however, notable historians and researchers have concluded that Christopher Colomb was Portuguese. He was the son of the Infante Don Fernando, Prince Fernando, Duke of Beja, and of Lady Isabel Gonçalves Zarco. His real name was Salvador Fernandez Zarco, and he was born in the Alentejo here in Cuba.
How did they conclude that? See, everybody wants to claim Christopher Columbus. Some vilify him. but many others want to claim him. That's why we have all this. He was Spanish, Portuguese, Italian. Okay. This is the man who may have fathered Columbus, the Duke of Beja. That's what they say. I want you to look at what he looks like. But then we saw in the Wikipedia page that his father, Domenico, so his father's name was Domenico. So they don't even know his parentage. This is the confusion that surrounds Christopher Columbus, the name. Okay, now let's look at what he supposedly was doing, his mission was.
There is more proof that Columbus was a secret agent in the Treaty of Tordesillas. The 1494 treaty divided the world between Spain and Portugal. The purpose of the treaty was to settle conflicts over the land discovered by Columbus. But before the treaty was ratified, King John II insisted that Portugal get a much larger slice of the world than originally agreed to. The king wanted the dividing line to be moved west, which would give Portugal domain in two countries only they knew existed, Brazil and Canada.
Okay, so again here we see they think he was a secret agent in the Treaty of Tordesillas. Who knows? Let's see what these ones think.
The day that they left, it was calm. But the days leading up to his departure were total chaos because the Queen had ordered all the Jews to leave Spain and leave all their property behind. And the docks were just full of Jews trying to board ships. So it was total chaos.
So this story is predicated on the fact or on the premise that he was Jewish and he was part of the Jews who were expelled from Spain. Let's see what this one says.
Columbus's voyage was motivated by a desire to find safe haven for the 800,000 Jews subject to expulsion from Spain during the Inquisition. To show solidarity with the Jews of Spain, Jewish scholars say that he set sail for the New World on August 6, 1492, the very day the Jews were given the choice of converting to Catholicism, leaving Spain, or being killed.
Okay, so what we've seen is he probably was a secret agent in the Treaty of Tordesillas, and that's why he was on the voyage to the new land. He was expelled from Spain. He didn't leave volitionally. He was forced out. He was exiled, expelled. Or he probably wasn't expelled, but he was looking for a place for the Jews who had been expelled from Spain. So this might one might assume that he wasn't Jewish, but he sympathized with them and he knew something about exploration and maps, and so he just was going to find them a place. He must have known about that land that he was going to, of a land beyond where he was going to. So what I'm trying to show is that there's so much confusion about Christopher Columbus. Nobody seems to really know the truth. And maybe the truth is out there, but nobody wants to reveal it. Okay, now we look at Wikipedia, because this is the most common story that everybody runs with. So it says, Christopher Columbus was a Genoese trader, explorer, and navigator. He was born in Genoa, Italy in the year 1451. Christopher Columbus is the English version of Columbus's name. His real name in Italian was Cristoforo Colombo. So Christopher Columbus, Cristoforo Colombo, and Zaco Fernandez Zacos, that other name I can't remember it. Anyway, in 1492, Columbus landed on an island of the Bahamas, the first European to do so. His initial goal was to find a quicker route to Asia from Europe. He is credited with the discovery of the New World because his voyage started the era of European colonialism in the Americas. This was an important moment in European history. While Leif Erikson was the first European to land on the soils of America, it was not well documented and did not lead to the latter contact between Europe and the New World. The effects was the bringing over of livestock, disease, crops, and slaves. So this says there's somebody else who made it to America before, but that was not documented. But it was Christopher's voyage that was documented, and that started the era of European colonialism. This might be all true, but it is so inaccurate. That is how the deception works. It gives you truth in the wrong context and with the mishmash of context. So it's true, but it's so inaccurate. So again, here the discovery of Leif Erikson had no impact on European history and was not well documented. Again, Columbus discovered America in the sense that he was the first person to create repeated exploration and contact with the New World. How that doesn't even make sense. Just because you're creating repeated exploration, that makes you the discoverer. This logically doesn't even make sense at all. Okay, another point is that Native Americans had been living there for thousands of years before he arrived. However, Native Americans did not record or contribute to the European record of history for obvious reasons. Columbus therefore discovered America in context of European history. Tell me how this makes sense. However, Native Americans did not record or contribute to the European record of history for obvious reasons. What do they mean by that? This is what I'm saying. They package a story they want you to buy. Okay, let's see what else it says. Columbus was the first European person to have discovered America at the time of his voyage. Europeans did not know that the Americas existed. So it's still repeating the same thing. So why I'm emphasizing this story, it's because this is the story that's sold everywhere and that everybody believes. And so when I do the analysis in part 2, I will use this story summarily as a summary. The summary from this story is what I'll use to present in part 2. And that summary is usually Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas incidentally while on a voyage to find the shortest route to India. That is the story. Again, like I said, true but highly inaccurate. His mission was India, the Indies. So Christopher Columbus's mission was to India when he discovered America. Okay, that's the end of part 1. Short and simple, just to show the confusion that surrounds Christopher Columbus, really. Nobody seems to know what that name means to begin with, who he was, whether it's collective pronoun, collective noun, just nobody knows. But anyway, next we'll look at part 2, which breaks down this. Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas incidentally while on a voyage to find the shortest route to India. We'll break down this statement to show you who Christopher Columbus really is. Okay? Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, subscribe. Thank you.